different comedy clubs here in Austin. We're going to be talking about different shows that are popular and successful in the city.
And we're going to try to be funny.
Yeah, oh yeah. Right, there's that too.
Yeah. Right on. So we are live. We are broadcasting. I think we're in frame. All right. You can hear me okay? Am I too loud, too quiet?
No, I can hear you good. It's
All
just
right.
like, same level as mine. Yeah.
David 2C, can you hear us? Mm-hmm. Maybe. We'll see. All right. We have the real Heathman joined us.
Hey, is that Heath Underwood? Heath Underhill? Could that be it?
That could be. Let us know if you can hear us. If you can't hear us, if not, we will adjust it. But Derek, you can see our.
Okay, heck yeah,
there.
we got you in the chat.
Yeah.
Is that okay? No, I think the real Heathman might be somebody else. But okay, but David 2C. All right, awesome. There we are.
We have some viewers. We
Hey,
are
look at
online.
this.
So,
Holy cow!
let's go ahead and get started here. Now, Derek, you've been doing open mics for how long now?
18 months.
18 months.
Yeah.
Now, you know them all, right? I mean, you know every...
I've been to basically all of them. There have been a few that I haven't gone to. Yeah.
Okay. And you keep us updated with the spreadsheet. Now, tell people where they can find that spreadsheet real quick. Because obviously they're already on your Instagram, right? Because we're going live from your page.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, in the link tree in the bio of my Instagram, I have that linktree / Derek Dimpfl, and then the first link there will be the Austin, Texas comedy open mic spreadsheet. So that has all the information.
It's broken up by days, and now we have some things happening in Austin. Usually Monday nights we have Kill Tony. I don't know if anybody showed up yesterday, but it was obviously off. Your mic, the minute to win it beforehand, is currently off as well, right?
Yeah, right now looking for a new home for it, and Kill Tony being canceled yesterday, and then next week has given me a little bit of breathing room for finding that. Yeah.
Are you having trouble finding a new spot still, or?
Yeah, I mean, well, I haven't maybe been as diligent as I could possibly be in looking for a place, because where I've been mainly focusing my energies for running the thing is at Buckshot, right next door to Vulcan Gas Company, which feels like an ideal kind of perfect.
That place is a good spot. And they have cheap drinks. It's
right.
Yeah.
So popular with comics. Yeah, you can get shots for $2.50.
Yeah, $2.50. Yeah. They even have mixed drinks. Everything is $2.50.
Really?
Yeah. So you get like a Crown and Coke, or not a whiskey and Coke for $2.50 if you wanted to, or
oh, no kidding.
Red Bull. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, so it's actually a pretty good deal.
Might need to incorporate that into my budget.
Yeah, exactly. Our door alarm's going off. We're having a visitor. Apologize.
No, it's like those Zoom calls, you know.
Yeah. This is our first broadcast. We are recording, so we can post this later. But tell us how hard it is to start a mic. I mean, I know you've had the minute to win it for a little while. When you're trying to find a new location, what's the process of finding a spot to start your own mic to get comics to come in and do spots?
Yeah, well, there are a few different ways that you can do that. One of the ways that you can is if you have like a personal connection with somebody who's involved with a business and they want to set it up, that can make it really easy.
Okay.
Another way that you can do it, and the way that I initially found poor choices for a minute to win it, was I had this idea. Was actually somebody else told me about the idea, and then there was. Oh, okay. So there's more backstory. Well, but then. Another way is okay. So there was this idea for doing this, and then I just went to all the different bars on the block where Vulcan Gas Company was, because I was thinking, it's like, okay, this thing can't be too far away from Vulcan Gas Company if I'm gonna actually get people to go there. And and most of the bars were not interested, or
so you tried a few.
Yeah. Well, every single bar on that block, so I probably walked into like 15 different doors.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
And then Poor Choices was like, okay, we'll try it.
Yeah. Poor Choices, like, well, immediately, like, I passed on my information to the managers at like 5 different bars, so there were like places like, oh, why don't you write down your info, whether they were serious about it or not, and so I did. But then I got a text back pretty quickly from Mikkel, the manager at Poor Choices, and he said, yeah, we're interested in doing it. Give me a call. And I gave him a call, and he's like, okay, yeah, we can set you up with that right away and just give you 10% of bar sales. How's that sound?
Oh, nice.
And I was like, oh, that's great. He's like, just so you know, 10% of bar sales is going to be basically nothing. I'm like, that's fine. I'm just doing it to have experience doing this. Yeah.
That's cool, man. And then they said that we were being too crude for their guests.
Oh.
Is that what happened? Or?
Yeah, well, Mikkel told me that there were 2 reasons why he decided to call it off. And, yeah, I mean, and I don't blame him or, like, really question his decision. Although, like, some weeks when it was really full, like, I think they did quite well for that hour. But he was saying the 2 things is like the bar sales were not consistently at the level where he wanted them to be, I guess. And then also he was saying it's like every now and again, like a comic would say something that would cause a customer to walk out the door, which is like, I also get it, but I don't know how to prevent or control for that myself. And he's like, yeah, that's just one of the hazards. So there's no hard feelings or anything. He's like, yeah, this is just a business decision.
Not gonna work out, huh?
Yeah.
Now they still do open mics upstairs on like
right Thursday night. Yeah, after the show.
So
yeah,
they're still open to comedy.
Yeah, of course.
Not that.
Yeah, and Mikkel wants to do more comedy. Like he was talking to me about different ideas that he had for doing comedy. Like for instance, he wanted to like if I had a personal connection with some big headliner like Christina P. or someone who could
help you out.
Yeah, exactly. yeah. Yeah. So it's a joke, but somebody who could sell 100 tickets easily with just like the minimal of just getting the word out. That he was like, well, if we could do that on like a Monday night.
So instead of selling tickets, since he's all interested in bar tabs, is it possible to do like a 2 drink minimums type show or something like that there?
That's interesting. Yeah, okay, in order to enforce a 2 drink minimum, like comedy clubs that do that, like they have a whole process for that, right? And so like in order to do that, like you basically need people
serving.
Yeah, exactly. You need like a cocktail waitress to keep track of that.
So maybe if we brought in one of our own waitresses.
Right. Yeah. You could like hire someone as staff
to get instead of trying to charge people for the ticket.
Right.
Give them a free show, have them come in and have 2 drinks, and maybe still make the money that way.
All right.
This is what some things I'm spitballing here while we're live on the air.
No, that's a smart thought. I not considered pitching that alternative to him.
Yeah, if one of the comics was to rotate the 2 drink minimum shift and they get to keep the tips, that might work out for the comic and for the bar.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and to be fair, Mikkel has given me a lot of different like opportunities at Poor Choices to have to have stuff where to do things like I had a every other Wednesday night show there for a while. I also had like a Monday night open mic after my minute to win at 1, that he was paying me to do. And I think that, maybe the reason it didn't work out is perhaps like the date and time and everything, or it also the fact that I'm kind of unexperienced with marketing.
So maybe a new podcast might help that.
Yeah, perhaps something like this. Yeah.
3 or 4 people watching right now at the same time.
May I?
Yeah. Oh yeah, brother.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So, the bottom line, the bar wants to keep the customers in there. Obviously, keep them drinking, and get more customers in, more than they normally would have.
Yeah.
So I think your minute to win it was a good way because we had like 20 or 30 comics come in there.
Oh yeah.
There quite a few of them bought drinks, I would think. I always did to support the venue. You try to,
which I appreciate.
Yeah. But the struggle of keeping the people in there and keeping the bar tabs going is definitely a struggle that all these open mics are going to have. So I think putting a new fresh spin on it, some way that we can get the comics involved, get the customers involved, and then the bar's happy as well. But,
yeah. And I think it's particularly a challenge with the crowd who's going to, or like, it's particularly a challenge if you're doing a comedy mic for people who are signing up for Kill Tony, right? Because that,
Right.
yeah,
There's a lot of those that are just doing it for Kill Tony.
right, yeah. So not only is the Kill Tony a really wild crowd who will tolerate and even embrace all kinds of crazy shit that people will say, you know, in like very edgy comedy.
Whereas a normal bar person might not.
Right, exactly. Someone coming off the street be like, "What the fuck is this?" But then also sometimes like the people you get signing up for Kill Tony are a little bit maybe mentally unstable.
That's why I do it.
Yeah, but I've had some, you know, I've had some nut jobs over at the Minute to Win It, Mike.
Because everybody gets on there. That's the problem. You know, it's not the bucket keeps some of those crazies down. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it is truly a random selection, then they have just as much, you know, chance of getting on as everyone else does.
Yeah, but I feel like sometimes that universe, I think, keeps certain people out of it and puts certain people on. You know. I think
yeah, that's interesting that you say. So like, yeah, so maybe you've had some kind of feelings about that. You know British John?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was telling me a few weeks ago when he was in town that that Tony, according to him, that Tony has like a sort of like an almost like supernatural belief in the bucket.
In the bucket, yeah. No, I get it. I see it because I mean I've been going 9 weeks in a row and haven't gotten pulled. And then my buddy Brian Swinehart, who started with Tony, who started comedy at the same time with him.
Did he get pulled?
Gets pulled.
Fuck yeah.
With being in town one night.
Fuck yeah.
And so they had that little connection and whatnot. So I think there's definitely some kind of supernatural something happening with the choices. You know, when you're ready type of thing.
Yeah, which is curious, right? Yeah. And so, which is one of the reasons why I stopped signing up after about 40 something times and never got picked. Yeah, but also like
you signed up for 40 something times and never got picked. Not once.
Not once.
Wow,
yeah.
So the bucket does to keep some people out of it.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, but
40 something times. Really, man.
Yeah. I was happy to make that shift.
But then like Mike Eaton gets on 3 times in a row or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
those people who get on.
That's his time.
It's crazy.
There was this one guy, I forget who it was. In the line a few weeks ago when I was telling everyone about Minute to Win It, he was saying, it's like, Derek, are you going to sign up again? And I said, I don't think so. I mean, not until I feel like I have some reason to. And he said, like, well, some of the guys are, are maybe getting some money together to persuade you to sign up again.
They want to see you go for it.
So if he's not just fucking around, it's like, okay, yeah, I'd do it if you guys pass the hat.
Yeah. Have you sit back there in the bullpen for 2 hours?
Right.
Now, if you had a ticket, would you go and sign up?
Oh, I mean, yeah. Let's see.
Is it more about standing back there in the back?
It's partly about that, but then it's partly opportunity cost when it comes to what I can be doing with those couple hours.
Right.
But I don't think I would really mind missing a couple mics on a Monday night every now and again, like if I had a ticket signed up, that kind of thing. Okay. Yeah.
Now, hosting your own mics and being in these open mics a lot, do you see some people that are up and coming, or some people that maybe shouldn't do it at all, or?
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Well, I see lots of people who I think are either a potential who have just started, or people who have just moved to town and are really good. One of my new favorites is Ryer Cameraman.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Yeah, coming from Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that she really cares about the pronoun thing, but I think it is she for her. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been calling her he.
All right. Yeah.
And I also call her Ryan.
She would probably. She would probably find that hilarious. You gotta tell her.
I told her I did.
Yeah, like, oh, bless you.
No, she's great because especially her style of humor. It's got like that little Maria Bamford-ish, but witty and sharp.
Yeah, it's also like very self-aware, and she sort of like plays up these kind of Jim Carrey like awkward expressions.
Yeah. She definitely has that animated.
Yeah,
face.
Just fun. Yeah, and I like her. She actually reminds me a lot of myself. Like when I used to be like when I was a lot younger, and I like the ways that I'd act out, like if I was uncomfortable, you know.
Yeah. So now that you've been doing it for a couple of years, you feel like the physical comedy's not as important, or?
Oh, I think physical comedy is
Well, not to cut you off. I saw Joe a couple of weeks ago, Joe Rogan, and he literally laid down on the stage doing an act.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I mean, even that far into it, there's still some physical aspect too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like I mean, something that I'm reflecting on right now is like on Sunday night, I saw Gabe Bickford go up at the Creek open mic and he before Banana Phone, and he's he's always really funny, and he's really good writing, and he delivers well to the audience. But I could tell, well, like he did like this act out, which was the first time I ever saw him do an act out.
Okay.
And then I thought he was just gonna and it didn't kind of get the response that he wanted, and I saw that too. And I thought he was just gonna keep riding on through. He's like, that's my first time ever doing that act out. I'm never gonna do that act out again. And I was like, oh, you're really uncomfortable doing that. But also like it made me aware. Yeah. Well, not only like are there act outs that you can do, but you can change your voices all kinds of ways.
Yeah. I definitely see that, like, who is it? John Caput, what was it? Did all the voices, John Cap, what's his name? Yeah.
Michael Winslow?
No, he does sounds. He doesn't really do voices.
Yeah.
The guy who did all the impressions from Mad TV and shit.
Okay. Sorry.
John.
This is out of my pop culture wheelhouse.
All right.
I'm going to go in your bathroom and cough really quick, but keep talking.
We're just going to act like this doesn't happen with the live.
Yeah.
This is why you can't hit weed, Derek.
Yeah.
He's going to step into the cough room and cough real hard because he can't handle his shit.
I don't like to cough in front of people. I think it's very rude.
No, walking away and doing it secretly is much more appropriate.
Hey, I had faith in you. You could carry the show for a couple seconds.
No, that's good, man. So we were talking about up and comers.
Yeah.
I definitely see, like at the Creek in the Cave, you definitely get a good sense of a community there of people who are coming up together.
Oh yeah.
You see like the group together. It's definitely a little bit different than like even like any of these other comedy clubs or like the other clubs we go to, like the Lucky Duck or whatever.
Right.
People are kind of spread out. They got their cliques or whatnot.
Yeah.
But the Creek, it kind of brings everybody together.
People are bonding.
You're kind of stuck together. You have to deal with each other. And,
yeah, that patio is a place where a lot of different relationships and relational dynamics get formed.
Yeah, and you see some big people come in there.
Oh yeah.
Hanging out last week. Who was that? Rachel Feinstein was back there with us.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah. We had fucking.
I mean, Brian Holtzman has been there many times.
Yeah.
It's like Tony used to hang out there like more than a year ago or so, like at a burst. Joe Rogan's been to the backyard a few times. But all kinds of big. Oh, who was the guy who played young Larry David in the new Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Oh yeah.
What's his name?
I don't know his name, but I know you're talking about.
Oh God, whoever I forgot his name, and I feel really embarrassed because I was gushing over him after his show, and he was the sweetest guy.
So you actually knew a celebrity?
What?
You actually saw a celebrity in person and you knew who they were?
Yeah. Oh no. I only learned who he was that night, but his performance was so unreal because
Really?
you're talking about act outs, but like he'd have whole like whole parts of the act where just music was playing and he was sort of like acting along to the music,
Wow.
and so like he'd be like impersonating like the stereotypical football montage, so there'd be like the running
yeah.
and it'd be like the wave, and then it just all these different things. But it was like a dance. It was amazing.
So he was showing his acting skills on the stand-up stage.
But it's also but it was also so. I mean, and also just like the control he had over his body and like the choices that he was making about like how to express himself.
Was he a young Larry David? You think? Or is
Oh, I don't know if his personality is a young Larry David. He was a really sweet, really really kind of high energy, just really just a really kind guy. Yeah.
High energy. That
Casey Rocket, of course.
He's fucking crushing it. He also just won the
the Austin comedy competition.
Yeah. So that's awesome, man.
$5,000. Hell yeah,
that's
Casey.
somebody we've seen, daily putting their shit together, working on their craft.
Yeah.
And that's another one of those Creek in the Cave type people we see all the time, and really coming up and working on it. Doing it.
I actually, one of the first shows that I ever produced was a show headlining Casey Rocket.
That's awesome.
It's called The Rocket Party.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you saw that talent before everybody else did, huh?
Oh, well, I immediately when I first saw him, because he's also like the kind of crazy that lives within me.
Okay.
I'm like, fuck yeah, someone's manifesting it.
Nice. So you got a little bit of Ryer, a little bit of Casey.
Yeah. Like someone's bringing it up to the max. And so immediately, like I was, and we've been buddies. It's like, well, it's just like we, see each other, and like, he'll like walk up to me. Hello, doctor.
That's cool.
I don't know. Isn't that funny to me? Like, hello, doctor.
No, it is funny to you. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Thank you for being the mirror of self-awareness.
I'm nobody asshole in this situation, I guess.
No, I like it. I'm okay being the good cop.
Yeah, man. So what's coming up this week that we should know about for comedy? What we got coming up?
Yeah, well, let's see.
So tonight, Tuesday night, there's the challenge mic. Then you also have your Lazy Days. That's been growing down there. How's that going?
It's going great. For the last couple weeks, we've had 2 weeks ago we had 18 signups. Last week had 20.
Wow.
And both of those weeks, a lot of people. Most of those signups got there like right at the very beginning, and then took seats out in. On the chairs that are set up there. And given like the small size of the shop, like it turned into being, it was basically the equivalent of a sold out crowd. So just everyone was like, every seat was taken. Everyone was paying attention to what was going on. People had the chance to get goofy. And then the fact that there was a crowd meant that, the fact that every seat was taken, I think overcame what's common in like when you just have comics hanging out is that like comics feel a need to be individual, and that can extend to even sitting in the crowd. But once all the seats are taken, people become less individual just by the nature of taking up that space with others, and people become a crowd. I think that's what I discovered from that. Kind of a long walk for a short drink of water, but we got there.
So you're saying that the comics individually aren't don't participate that much, but
in a typical open mic setting, for sure. Yeah,
but when they're together in a tight setting, they become one organism and start getting into the show.
Yeah, and there was something that like, and my initial thought was like, wow, I'm really killing it as a host, or like, oh, all these people really like me, and that's why the show is going well, and that's why people are engaged or something. But I think a less self-serving explanation is that idea of people all being together, like becoming a crowd and losing your sense of individuality. Because isn't that like what so many of like part of the experience that so many people went to see the Dixie Chicks for at ACL?
Sure. Yeah.
And like when you're in this crush of people, all of a sudden your personal feelings and sensations aren't necessarily what's catching your attention at the time. It's what you guys are collectively experiencing.
Right. It's interesting you said the Dixie Chicks. So there's so many bands playing.
That's true.
That's the one you picked.
Well, I mean,
across from the Creek in the Cave was Gwar.
That's right, Gwar. On Sunday night. Yeah. Was it a good show?
Oh, I just was watching from across the street.
Why did I see? Yeah. Well, the Dixie Chicks. Okay, shit. Well, I didn't really have an extensive look at the lineup.
Just from all the bands to name, that was an interesting choice there. That's the one you went to?
Okay, I could say Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. It doesn't roll off the tongue like the Dixie Chicks. No. What were you saying? Sorry, you asked a question.
I was just saying, is that the one you went to? And they're also now the Chicks.
Yeah.
The Dixie Chicks, they can't celebrate Dixie anymore.
Yeah. There's no
that's
true.
of their.
They'll
name.
always be the Dixie Chicks.
So,
Yeah,
it's
I
just
mean,
the Chicks now. Did you see the Chicks downtown?
yeah, right.
How terrible is that?
Right. Yeah, like when my friend asked me if I saw that TV show The Boys, and he just said, "Have you seen The Boys?" I'm like, "What boys are you talking about?" But the Chicks,
See
yeah.
lots of boys. I'm a teacher and a pedophile.
Yeah. No. I've definitely realized that hanging out with comics a little bit too much can cause me to crack those jokes a little bit too casually.
In front of the schools.
Yeah, well, no, just
of the teachers or.
well, no. Like in front of like the school night crowd at the coffee shop or something. You're like, oh fuck, I forgot that people will. Like, people might be teasing me about me looking that way, but that does not mean that's what people actually think.
Yeah, until you start putting it in their head at the coffee shop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm like, don't I look like a stereotypical pedophile, you guys?
Well, now that you mention it.
Yeah, why are you talking about that?
So, we've done this a little bit now, about 30, 40 minutes. Is there anything you want to wedge in there before we should wrap it up on a high note here?
Nothing in particular. But we've covered a lot of good ground.
Yeah, I think we'll do it longer next time. I'm just gonna let April get to work here and not extend our fun time too much here. But I think next week, do Tuesday again.
Yeah, Tuesday next week sounds good. Same
9:30?
bat time. Yeah, 9:30. Same bat time. Same bat channel.
All right, guys, tune in. We'll be doing this weekly. We're gonna be talking about Austin comedy, what's going on. We'll have guests. We have more mics. We have more cameras. So if you want to be a guest on the show, let us know. Hit up Derek. Hit up ChadO. I'm writing ChadO on Instagram.
Yep.
Derek Dimpfl is where you're watching it right now. So yeah, hit us up and we'll put you on the show. And we'll talk to you about what you're doing in Austin and comedy or just in general.
Heck yeah! Well, we want to get the word out about what you're doing. Thank you so much, Chad, for setting all this up.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun, man. It'll be a good set.
I think this is going to be great.
Cool, brother. Thanks for having us out.
All right, later on.
Yeah.